If you're a fan of Godzilla, Star Wars, or Jurassic Park, then you've probably heard about Gareth Edwards. He's the director responsible for kickstarting the MonsterVerse with its first installment, 2014's Godzilla, as well as helming the best Disney Star Wars movie, which may not be saying a lot, but I promise he's a really great director. In 2023, he directed the Oscar-nominated sci-fi flick, The Creator. This year, he's being hailed by some as the savior of the Jurassic World franchise, with his latest film, Jurassic World Rebirth, getting ready to premiere in theaters in July. However, Gareth Edwards didn't actually start out as a Hollywood director, but as a homegrown special effects artist and as an independent filmmaker. After film school, he spent a decade building his skills in digital effects for TV documentaries and short films. During this time, he also experimented with filmmaking, entering the Sci-Fi London 48-hour film contest. His winning short, Factory Farmed, convinced the indie studio Vertigo Films that he had serious talent. That VFX background and DIY attitude set the stage for how he would tackle monsters. Edwards' idea for monsters was born from a simple image that he imagined while on vacation. While watching a fisherman struggle with his net, he pictured a huge tentacled monster on the other end, and from that moment, he knew he wanted to make a new kind of monster movie. He envisioned a story set years after an alien probe crashes back to Earth, a world where giant creatures exist in the wild, but society has mostly moved on. Pitching this to Vertigo Films in 2008, he described it as a road movie and a love story set against that infected zone. Vertigo loved the concept and worked with him on a basic outline of his plot. A US photojournalist must escort a tourist girl through the quarantined region to the Mexican border. Edwards' inspiration was grounded in realism. He wanted effects-heavy sci-fi with characters who felt real, and this unorthodox blend of genres was the guiding idea from the start. True to his independent spirit, Edwards decided not to write a detailed screenplay for monsters. Instead, he just broke the story up into scene plans and let the actors improvise on set on the day of shooting. He would gather his two leads, Scoop McNairy and Whitney Abel, and explain what each scene needed to accomplish, how to get from point A to point B. Then he simply rolled the camera. The actors talked freely as they moved from point A to point B in real locations, and Edwards captured whatever felt natural. This winging it approach meant real surprises ended up in the film. For example, if an actor suddenly said something powerful, Edwards would replay it from another angle. Some scenes were even filmed without a specific goal other than creating atmosphere or texture as the characters journeyed. This loose improvisation gave monsters an organic, almost documentary style. The interactions felt unscripted, and small accidents like meeting an unexpected group of firefighters were turned into dramatic set pieces. By foregoing a strict script, Edwards let the environment and his actors drive the scenes, which became a hallmark of the movie's production. To pull this off, Edwards assembled a tiny roaming crew and hit the road. For about 3 weeks, the core team, including the two actors, a sound recordist, Edwards himself as the camera operator, a local fixer, and a driver, all packed into a very small van, shot in real locations across Central America. They filmed in Mexico, Belize, Guatemala, Costa Rica, and even parts of the US Southwest. The camera was a Sony PMW-EX3, equipped with a leadless adapter to take SLR-style lenses, and Edwards sometimes tested a Canon 5D MK2. This lightweight gear let them move fast and stay low profile. When they arrived in a village or a city street, locals often became unplanned extras. Sometimes people didn't even know that they were in the movie until minutes before filming. For instance, while in Mexico City, Edwards talked to local firemen into driving him around and acting out a disaster sequence. Shooting in this guerrilla style, in found locations and natural light, allowed Edwards to capture cinematic scope on almost no budget. Every sunset or ruined street they found became a ready-made set for the story. After each day of shooting, the team hustled to offload footage and start editing right away. Editor Colin Goody and his assistant would download all the video to hard drives each night, clearing the memory cards for the next morning's shoot. This meant a rough cut gradually took shape in real time, even as filming continued. Meanwhile, back at home, Edwards tackled the monster effects entirely by himself. He spent about 5 months using off-the-shelf software, including Photoshop, ZBrush, 3ds Max, and more. By the end of post-production, he had assembled roughly 250 visual effects shots on a personal computer. This meant Monsters was, in a way, self-edited and self-illustrated by its director. And that's wild, because that's not how movies are normally made. Normally, the director goes out, makes the movie, and a visual effects supervisor will then go and watch the actual footage, make sure that the VFX shots look great while a team works on them, and then they sort of communicate from the director to the visual effects team through that visual effects supervisor. Instead, Gareth Edwards just did everything himself, which is insane to me. He went from raw footage to Final Cut essentially on his own, which is unheard of in the realm of like big blockbuster movies, especially movies like Monsters, that have 250 visual effects shots. In the end, that hands-on post-production kept the film's look cohesive and, more importantly, kept costs down. With the film complete, Monsters made its premiere at the South by Southwest Festival in March 2010, where it immediately caught the eye of distributors. Within hours, the rights were snapped up and the movie rolled out later in 2010 around the world. Critics responded positively to Edwards' offbeat debut. Many praised its atmosphere, the naturalistic performances, and the way it blends sci-fi with real human drama. Roger Ebert gave it 3.5 stars, noting its focus on character and subtle creature design. And The Guardian called it a terrific sci-fi adventure. And the industry took notice too. Edwards won Best Director and a Technical Achievement Award at the British Independent Film Awards, and Monsters won Best Independent Film. He was also nominated for a BAFTA for Outstanding Debut. The movie went on to gross a few $1 million internationally, a modest earning, but extremely impressive given its $500,000 budget. In short, Monsters became a hit on the festival circuit. It proved that Edwards' indie methods could yield something memorable, and the success of Monsters opened big doors for Gareth Edwards. Movie studios suddenly saw that this director could make a convincing creature feature even with limited resources. So, in early 2011, Legendary Pictures tapped Edwards to direct their upcoming Godzilla reboot. This was a direct result of the buzz around Monsters. In interviews, industry executives said that they were blown away by his imagination and hands-on skills. Edwards went from an indie outsider to helming a multi-billion-dollar franchise, all because his lean, creative approach had demonstrated that he could deliver the spectacle and tension of a monster movie. And with all that out of the way, I'm Cole McCormick, you're watching Firewood Media, and if there's one thing I hope that you get out of this video, it's that you should just get out there and film something. Make that movie you've always wanted to make. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Peace out.